Oh, I'm on mute, so you can't hear me. Hello, hello. How are you? It's Coach Marlena Cole. I'm so excited for you to be here. And if you are watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. You may want to skip past, until the where I get started. So just giving a second to see if people can be notified to join me today. Well, first, I'm Coach Marlena Cole. For those who maybe come across me and not know who I am a I am a personal life coach, certified life coach. And I work with single women who are 40 and over, who have a wonderful life, everything that they're looking for, except for that one thing, which is a romantic relationship. So I work with women, helping them to attract real love that they can trust and depend on. And this is my live show, How to Meet a Man on Your Level, finally, for professional women. Life is wonderful, and it is even better when we have someone to share it with. So tonight, that's what we're going to be talking about. How do I fill in this piece of my life that is still maybe a little outstanding? So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're here, put in the chat that you're here. I'm streaming on multiple platforms. So, hey, Charlene, thanks for showing up. If you're here, just type it in the chat. I think it'll pull up. Uh, so, I usually do a little rant before I jump in just to give others time to join. So, I'm going to do my little rant today. So, here is my rant, and it's usually off of something I've seen on social media. So, I was watching this video, and let me know you can hear me okay. I was watching this video, and the guy was like, and I don't know why we listen to men, but I don't mean that in derogatory sense, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, you're a little off. But he says, you women, all you boss chicks out here, don't no man want all that. Y'all lead with that and y'all gonna stay single, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's so interesting that he says that, because boss chick is really just a term, a lingo that we use, right? But really, when you think about it, women were created to be boss chicks, right? That's the term we use, right? To be leaders of our homes, to be leaders of ourselves, to be leaders of our children, to even lead in our marriages. I absolutely lead in my marriage. I have a strong, manly man husband, but I also lead, right? And let me give you, I am a Christian, and you don't have to be to hear this, but in the Bible, there's this story about the Proverbs 31 wife, right? And this is supposed to be the aspiration for what a man should look for in a wife. And so this story about the Proverbs 31 wife, she here's the story, right? And bits and pieces. Here's the story, right? She was a boss chick. This is my point, right? She was a boss chick. And of course, they didn't use that term back then. They used the term Proverbs 31, right? I mean, that's like a virtuous wife. Let me be accurate. They used the term virtuous wife. We just say boss chick, right? And so he was here's how the story goes, right? He was saying, here's the story. It's like in the Bible, it's like she was a wife, right? And it says she woke up early to basically get her house in order, and she had people helping her in the house, maids and things like that. And so she basically got there, help them get their assignments done, get them started. It said that she cooked, she basically she sold things. So she had a business, right? And she sold things. And so she would go afar to sell these clothings, and she had, beautiful silks and garments that she would sell. And it said it made her husband look good in the marketplace, right? She was a boss chick, and she is listed in the Bible as the aspiration for a man looking for a wife. And so I'm like, maybe he don't know that story in the Bible where the Proverbs 31 woman was absolutely what we term a boss chick. And so, yes, women, you can be a boss chick, right? You can sell goods, do well in your home, get your maids together, right? Get the order of your house together, right? You can make your husband look good without diminishing yourself to, hey, Terry Land, to, you know, I don't know what he wanted us to be, right? Maybe, he didn't really finish, because, we do all these little 20-second clips, but it's like, Yeah, we can be boss chicks, right? We are, and back then it was just called virtuous wives. So I want you, and I say this because I want to empower you to live in your truth, to be who you are. And don't think that because you're strong, because you're a leader, because you are a boss chick, because you have a business, that you're exempt somehow from love. I mean, Proverbs 31, look it up. Look up look, I'm probably a little rusty. I probably should have read it before, right? To give you all the little details, but go read it for yourself. Don't trust me. Go read it for yourself. And so it's just a different term. And so, anyway, I say that because I know a lot of women that attract to me and that I attract to, they are very strong willed. They are very independent. They have free thought. They some work. They have businesses. I'm a wife. I work and I have a business, right? I lead my house. Yes, thank you, Terry Lynn. Proverbs 31, right? It's like I do all these things, right? My husband and I, he leads certain things. I lead certain things. It's just based on, for one, availability, right? Based on availability and whose strength it is, right? And like prime example, right? I'm not one to put all my business out there, but it's like my husband does the laundry because I'm horrible at it. I mean, you would think doing laundry is super easy, but it's not, right? My husband, like, you faded my shirt, you shrunk my shirt. He's like, why are those clothes sitting there for weeks, right? So he's like, listen, I got it. I would take care of it. So that doesn't make him any less of a man, or me less of a woman, right? It's just like we share house things, right? Certain things I lead. I help my son with his homework, right? That's something I lead. My husband does certain things. So it's like you should absolutely be a leader in your life and a leader in your relationships, ladies. So don't let anybody tell you because you're a boss chick, you truly are a virtuous woman. And a man will be, I was going to curse, say the Bible and then curse. He will be absolutely blessed to have you in his life. So that's my rant. Let me know if that rant made sense. And then we're going to jump into our topic today. Share this live. Please share if you know any single women. Share it with them. Hopefully, I dropped something, say something that will bless you today, because that is my intent. I have been praying for you, ladies, and I have my notes over here to the side because my marketing director was like, "I love your rants, Marlena, but you got to give some structure to it." Correct, Terry Lynn. It does not emasculate him. And if it does emasculate him, then I think that's really something he needs to work on in understanding himself and women, right? But that's not our job to, manage that. Right. So today, here's our topic. Here's what we're going to be talking about. And let me see. Let me get it to show. I'm ready. Oh, sorry, ladies. Let's see. I hit it too many times. Hold on. Here's our topic. I'm ready for love. And what's the easiest way to make it happen? It's like, listen, I'm ready for love now. Right. So this is for my fast laners. I have fast laners, my slow walkers, and people on the sidewalk, right? Some of my ladies, my fast laners are like, listen, I'm ready for love. What's the easiest way to make it happen? It's like, listen, I've checked off all these other boxes. I'm good on that. I'm happy. I'm strong. I'm confident. I'm ready for love. I'm ready to share my life with somebody. I'm ready to have somebody to do life with. I'm ready for that man that helps me relieve some of my burden, right? That helps me live this softer life, right? That's a rant for another day. But living the softer life that we're all wanting to do requires you to be unburdened with all the things that you're juggling by yourself, right? It's very difficult to live a true softer life if you still have all these burdens, taking care of yourself, paying all the bills, making all the decisions, right? Taking all the L's when you make the not so great decision, all the consequences, right? Those things add more burden. So it's hard to live a soft life, harder to live a softer life when you have all the burden. So a husband comes alongside of you to carry that burden of life so that you can relax a little bit more. You can feel safer. You can know that if you fall, you have somebody there to help pick you up, right? So my fast laners, you're like, hey, I'm ready, Marlene. I'm ready for love. What's the easiest way to get there? Easy not being like I'm in a rush or I'm desperate, but easy like how can I avoid all of the pain, all of the heartache, all of the nonsense, right? And you guys may hear my grandbaby in the background, but we rolling because I invite y'all into my house. So hey, let's roll. So that's who I'm talking to. My slow lane or my sidewalk ladies, you're like, I really do want love, but, and you feeling this, right? But I can't find any man on my level. But I really don't have the time, but I've been hurt before in the past and I don't want to be hurt again. I pray that this also helps you. My people who are on the sidewalk, so my sidewalk ladies, you guys are like the turtles. Like, yeah, I don't even know if it's possible. I mean, it is something I want. If it happens, it happens. And you're kind of in that place, and hopefully there's something here for you as well. So let's jump in. So there are I'm going to talk about this, and hopefully it makes sense, in three different stages, right, of our topic of how of that I'm ready for love. What's the easiest way to get there? So there's three different types of singleness, right? Three different types of singleness. One is when you're divorced or have ended a long-term relationship. I define a long-term relationship as 5 years or more. So you're in a long-term relationship for 5 years or more, and you haven't, or divorced, and you haven't been in a relationship since then, or yeah, period. You just haven't been in a relationship since then. The other category, so note which category you're in, okay? And so that way you can take tips from all of them, but specifically listen to the category you're in, because I'm trying to give some targeted tips without me knowing your full story, just targeted tips for my tips based on how my experience working with single women for the last 6 years. So number two category is no relationship. Like, you're no relationship in a year or more. You're not dating. You're not doing nothing. Nobody's trying to talk to you. I mean, there's like nothing happening. You're in category two. So write down if you're in one or two. And then category three is for what I call my dating dabblers. So my dating dabblers are my women who men approach you, you go on dates, you end up in short-term relationships. So they may go a year or two, but then they kind of fall apart, and you never get to the part where you're in a committed like relationship that's headed to marriage. I call those my dating dabblers. Okay. So you're in category three. So I'm gonna give tips on how to be ready and get love this year, right? How to find the one this year. A lot of my women, I used to have the the percentage, but I've kind of lost that. But a great percentage of my women who fall in any of these categories have found their husbands within a year or less. And I love that for them, right? They're not rushed. They're walked through a kind of a systematic, easy flowing process. And I'm gonna give you some of those tips tonight on, and some of those thought processes, right? It's really about our minds. So I'm gonna give you some of the mindset behind it, how to get there, what's blocking you, and what's your next step. Okay. If you can't finish this live, if you're want to talk to me later, want to find out more, um, just DM me, and just put in the word coach, and we can set up a call to talk about where you're at in your life, where you want to be, and see how my one-on-one coaching can fill the gap for you. Okay. And I put the QR code up there, so just take a picture of it to scan it, or you can just DM me the word coach, and I'll be sure to send you my booking link, so that we can see how we can get you from where you are to where you want to be, and having you have the life and relationships that you desire. All right. All right. If you're ready to go, let's say, let's go. Let's go. Put it in the chat. Let's go. Because this is all about us and what we want. Oh, Terry Lynn, not afraid anymore because of you. Yes, Terry Lynn. So, Terry Lynn, you're in one and two. So, divorce and haven't been in a relationship in a long time. Okay, so you're really just one. Okay, so you're one and two. It kind of blends, but really, Terry Lynn, one. But take notes for all of the categories. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, and I got my notes to the side because my marketing manager is like, listen, Marley, you got to stay structured. So let's talk about, and I'm going to go here. Let's talk about category one. So this is my women who've been divorced or out of a relationship for 5 years or more, and you haven't like gotten that part of your life, not back on track, but you haven't started back meeting people, but you're ready. So I'm ready, right? I'm ready. I'm ready. Write down or put in your mind. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for love. Write that down. I'm ready for love. All right. So let me scroll up. So one of the main things I find, and I'm just diving in. If you know me, I'm just diving right in. So One of the main struggles that I see with my women who are in category one, divorce into the long term relationship, is that you have forgotten how good it feels to be in a loving, healthy relationship. Yeah. How true is that for any of you guys? You have forgotten that bubbling feeling like when he pulls up. I remember my husband, we were dating, he drove, he had bought a truck. And so I would hear his truck pull up to the house, and my heart would just like, "Boo, boo, 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 boo," and I would just like hurry up, run downstairs, right? Just so excited for him to walk in, hear his door closing. I'm like, oh, he's here, right? And I was so excited. And I still get excited. Like today when he comes home, most of the time, sometimes I'm like, Lord, I'm happy my husband home, but I'm mad at him. But for the most part, I'm so happy when I hear the garage coming up and I'm telling my son, Daddy's home. Right. And my son always plays this game where he runs and hides, and my husband got to come in and find him. But I'm like, hey, honey, I'm excited. Right. I still know how that feels to have someone in your life, someone to come home to, someone to come home to you, somebody who wants to come home to you, and vice versa, somebody you want to come home to. And so for my ladies who have been divorced or ended a relationship, a lot of times when you've gone through your healing process, when you get to that phase where you're kind of not over it, but you've healed from what happened, you've accepted it, like it is what it is. I don't want him back. You just kind of stay there. You're just kind of in this numb place. And a lot of times, and that's one thing, sometimes you're really putting all the work into yourself, right? You're doing your all your self-care, whatever that looks like for you, and you're really focusing a lot on you, which is I highly recommend that. And in doing that, a lot of times you let so much time, like years, go by. A lot of my clients who come to me haven't been in a relationship for years. And those who've been divorced, they have not only have they divorce happened 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 13 years ago, they actually haven't been in a real relationship. And sometimes they haven't even dated in like 6, 7 years. And so their concept of what a healthy relationship can be like is like foreign to their body, is foreign to their heart. And they're like, yeah, it's like it's not something I think about. Do I want it? Does it come up sometimes? Yes, but it's only because they have forgotten how good it feels. How true is that for any of you ladies that are in that category? You if you think about it, it's like, yeah, I kind of remember, but it's not top of mind. You've forgotten. And so what happens to your energy? So your energy, I'm a master core energy life coach. So the way that I help my women 40 and over find love, true love that they can trust and depend on so quickly. And not that it's about being quick, right? But healthy relationships is because I teach them how to use their energy being the way they think, the way they feel, what they believe, right? It's like their own personal Wi-Fi signal. And when you learn what this is, I call it your energetic presence. That is how you attract what you want in your life, because we're older, right? We're not out as socially as much when we were in our 30s. We're not in the club, right? So it's like we're not in places where we're always around men. And if honest, I mean, we look different, we dress different. Like when you're 20 versus when you're 40, 45, right? You have on more clothes. So you're not necessarily attracting men from that sexual appeal place, right? You're like going to work, going to the store in your bonnet. Don't do that though, ladies. Right? You're kind of laser focused on making sure you keep your life on track. And so your energy from a romantic perspective is kind of taking in. So if your energy is this wide, when you're in this place of kind of numbness and not really focusing on exubrating your essence of your womanhood, then it shrinks. Does that make sense? And so a lot of times you guys, because you're in this numb place, like, yeah, I'm focusing on me, or you're so focused on trying to get your life back on track or keep it on track, you lose that feeling that would actually draw the man to you. Because when you feel the excitement, when you know the excitement, it draws him to you, because he's like, oh, it's something about her. It's her smile, her laugh, that's like, oh, there's one guy told one of my ladies, oh my God, you have presence. And she had been working on her energetic presence. She's like, Marlena, he said I got presence. I'm like, of course, because you've been working on that, right? And so here's my tip for my women who have been divorced and ended a relationship and haven't been in a relationship in a long time, and you want to start exuding that energy where your essence draw men in, right? Kind of get you out of this numb place. Here's your first step. Well, here's here's another thing that you're doing that's actually a big detractor from drawing men is that you when you start talking about what you want in a relationship, you'll give one or two things like, oh, I want a man who's loyal and honest. And then you say, but I don't want to deal with any baby mama drama. I don't want to deal with no broke man. You list 10 things of what you don't want. And so when you start talking about what you don't want, that shifts the energy, and you actually start attracting to you what you don't want, because that energy is stronger than the energy of what you do want, because you only said two or three things, and then you're not feeling that excitement of having those things. Does that make sense? So when the balance of what you want is lower than the energy of what you don't want, when that's so strong, like, I'm not making that same mistake again, I will never do this again, I will never do that again, that energy becomes so powerful that it actually repels what you do want. And that's how energy works. That's one way how energy works. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. So here's what I want you to do, right? So the divorced women, out of a long-term relationship, here's, if you want to start attracting men just naturally with your energy, is that you have to get so very intimate with what you do want. And you're like, oh, that's easy, that's easy. It's not for you ladies. I find that a lot of times with my long-term or divorced women, it is very hard to draw out of them what they want and what that feeling would feel like. So I created this actual workshop. It's a full workshop that I created that I call the divine desires, right? Because your desires for what you do want are divine. It is God given. I do believe that God not only gives us, I think what he said, he gives us the desires of our heart. I think, and I could be wrong, that he truly gives you the desires. Like, I'm giving you the desire that I want you to have. So when we desire something in our heart, I believe that scripture is saying, I'm giving you what you should desire. Right? So a lot of times when we allow ourselves to build that desire and get out of that numb place and build and let that desire kind of bubble up, that is God speaking to us. And if we can embrace it instead of talking about what you don't want and what mistakes you're not going to have and what you're not going to put up with, right? Then the energy of what you do desire becomes really, really strong. And that's going to draw in effortlessly men who are on your level. Right. So the divine desires, and let me see what takeaway I can give you. The best way to really work on this is to come work with me in the one-on-one, so I can walk you through this workshop one-on-one on how we build your desires. But let me give you this one takeaway. I want you to write down all the things that you do desire. What can a man do for you? Right? What can he do for you? Can he give you compassion? Um, what would that look like? What do you need? What if it's empathy, right? Because we don't get any of that during the day at work. Nobody cared about how we feel, right? Do you need empathy when you get home? Do you need someone to care about what you're going through? And a lot of times I find that with my women, we are the ones doing all of the giving, all of the listening, all of the caring. And that's not to say our friends aren't pouring into us, but a lot of times we put ourselves in this level 4 energy of helper, lover, healer, fixer, and we're the ones giving and pouring and supporting and encouraging, and that we don't have anyone to pour into us or not enough into us. And so that drains our energy, right? So do you need that empathy when you get home? Do you need attention, right? Do you want to be noticed and paid attention to? I love when my husband noticed my hair is different or I got my lipstick on. He's like, oh, what's different? And I'm like, oh, I got my lips on, right? I love when he pays me attention. I love when he notices me, right? Those little bitty things about me, right? Because sometimes we can get busy in our day. It feels really good for somebody to pay attention to me. Do you need affection? Right? What is it that you're needing right now? Do you need some affection? Do you need some that warmth, that hug, that right? You know what I'm talking about. Do you need that? right? Do you need that? So I want you to write down, if you need a list, I actually have a list, part of this exercise that I do with my women to help them think about all the things they need. Again, because you a lot of times are such in this numb place, or this place of just taking care of, kind of struggling to keep yourself focused to just take care of you. You've forgotten what these feelings feel like, to be loved by a man, to be adored by a man, to be cared for by a man, to have affection from a man, because it's been so long. That feeling is like, I kind of know it logically, but I don't feel it in my heart. And I need you ladies to feel it in your heart, to allow yourself to feel it in your heart. Does that make sense? Not just know it logically, like, oh yeah, I want him to do this, do that. That's logic. So when you say these things, if you don't feel it in your heart, like, oh, getting excited, getting kind of warm down there, that means it's not programmed into your body. And I need you to program into your body that feeling of love and warmth and comfort and commitment and affection, right? I need you to drill that into your body so you can start attracting it to you. Make sense? All right. If you want this list, I can definitely send it to you and give you this one piece of the exercise so that you can start um, really training your body and your energy to attract love and help you get in the mindset of what you want and what you need from a man. All right, let me know if that makes sense. DM me the word "what a man can do for me," or the phrase "what a man can do for me," so that way I know exactly what you're looking for. For those who just joined, thank you for joining. I'm Coach Marlena Cole. I am a life and energy core energy coach, and I help women, single women over 40, attract love they can trust and depend on. If you want to talk to me one-on-one about how my coaching can get you from where you are to where you want to be, which is a loving, healthy relationship, I have the QR code, or you can comment coaching below, and I'll make sure I send you the link so that we can set up a call and talk more about it. All right, Terry Lynn, I will send that to you. All right, so let's move on. Let's move on. Let me know if that made sense for my ladies who are divorced or out of a long-term relationship. So let's move on to the second category of singleness. There's three categories of singleness, right? We just covered the one, divorce, end of relationship, right? Or ended a long-term relationship. Now we're on two, which is no relationship, dating, nothing for at least a year or more, a year or two, right? 1 to 2 years, nothing, right? Not, I mean, just no dates, no nothing, right? No relationships. All right. So let me write down if you're in two, because we're going to get into it um about that. What, let me say this, because I did miss one point. Let me go back a little bit. I'm sorry, ladies. I want to make sure I hit all my points. So one thing too with category one is that, believe it or not, my divorced women are out of a long-term relationship. You set the bar unconsciously really low. The bar is set really low because you're comparing all the things that you didn't get in a relationship or that marriage, and you're saying, okay, this is now what I want, but you're only basing it off of what you did not get. And that was very low, right? That what you didn't get was like the bare minimum, right? And so when you start setting what you do want just based off of what you don't want, you're setting the bar very low for the next person. And if you are attracting men, they're probably not men that you would be in a relationship with, right? They're not on your level, but it's because energetically, not just energetically, but because you're setting the bar so low, energetically, you're actually attracting to you that low bar. That's a crucial piece I wanted to go back and give to you guys. Does that make sense? And let me know if you need me to explain that a little bit more. But be careful, be mindful of comparing what you do want based off what you didn't get in your last relationship, because you're setting the bar too low. And when you set the bar too low, you get exactly that. Somebody who doesn't meet your true desires, if that makes sense. All right. So let's move on to the second type of singleness, where again, no relationships, no dating, nothing for the last year or two. And here's the thing, right? Here's the scenario. Nobody's approaching you. You're not creating any opportunities, right? Meaning that you're pretty much getting up, going to work, coming home, eating dinner, logging back into work, taking more late phone calls, maybe watching some TV, and then going to bed and redoing it again. And yeah, you may go to the grocery store, may do all these little things, but you're not creating opportunities to meet people. All right. Um, and somewhere in your mind, you're thinking if it happens, it just happened. You're thinking if it happens, it happens. And you're thinking this way because it has been so long since you've been in a relationship, kind of almost kind of like level one, or the divorced woman. But this is a little different because you've lost, you have no intentions, right? You desire it, you desire love, but you don't have the intentional action, thoughts, and belief behind it, right? And so you think that, and this, I most of my clients are Christians. You don't have to be a Christian, but a lot of them are like, in God's timing, I don't want to get on these dating sites. I don't want to meet men at, and you know, got all these criteria of how you don't want to meet a person, right? And you become very emotionless and skeptical that it's even possible for you because it's been so long. And then you don't even know what to do to get yourself started, to start even get to even meet anybody, right? So you are literally stuck. Like, I don't even know what to do. I literally, I don't know where to start. I don't want to start online, or if you do, you get on there for like a week or two, do the free thing, and it gets so crazy and you're like, oh, I'm off, this is overwhelming. So you literally are so stuck in the, it's almost like you're stuck in quicksand, right? You truly desire a relationship, you really want it, and you have become so skeptical because it hasn't happened, and you're just stuck. How true is that for anybody who's in two, right? Level two is just like, I don't even know. I don't even know where to start. How do I meet men? How do I get out of this cycle of work, home, maybe go out, maybe travel, right? A lot of times you replace building a relationship with travel. And you can meet men while you travel, but your mind is not on meeting some man out the country or out the state. You're just trying to relax and trying to, right, get relief from your real life, right? So a lot of my women, they travel, they shop, they do all these self-medicating things because they don't know what else to do to get into a relationship. Is that anybody on the call? Let me know. And I'm just getting my notes here just to make sure I don't forget any steps. So that's the situation, right? Nobody's trying to talk to you. You're not creating opportunities to meet anybody. You began to get skeptical, frustrated. Then you self medicate with travel, shopping, working, right? And then all of a sudden it becomes, I don't have time, or I can't meet any men on my level, or nobody tries to talk to me. And you're really, what's happening from an energetic perspective is that you're at level one, where now you're kind of at the effect of some man somewhere deciding to talk to you, instead of where I coach my women to be, which is level five energy, which is like, no, I'm going to internally create the opportunities for a man to see me and see my presence and want to get to know me. So that way, when I'm at work, when I'm in the grocery stores, when I'm pumping my gas, when I'm traveling, I have men approaching me. I have men giving me compliments. I have my friends and family who normally wouldn't, are now trying to hook me up because now I've expanded my energy out of this frustration, out of this, if it happens, it happens, this self medicating kind of behavior. And now you're actually being very intentional. It hasn't happened in a year or two or more because you haven't been intentional, because you haven't put true hope, true belief behind it. You haven't created the opportunity. You can't wait for the opportunity to come to you. And I'm not saying go and look for men. That's not what we do, right? We don't go to look for men, but we create a life where men are going to notice us. Terry Lynn says she's a Christian and I'm on a few dating sites and still what? Still what? What's happening, Terry Lynn? Because dating, let me give this carry out. A dating site is really not for dating. It's not. No, people go to dating sites. It's not about dating. It's about being able to introduce yourself really well. So I like to tell my women, don't call it a dating site, call it an introductory site. Because when you get really well at introducing yourself, that's when it becomes worth your time, right? And a lot of times, if your strategy is a dating site, which I'm all for it, right? Because you need to get really good at introducing yourself, that cannot be your only strategy for meeting men. And it honestly starts with here and here, your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions, which makes it easier when you get on a dating site. A few of my clients have met their husbands on a dating site after being on there for like 2 weeks. Right? They were on there for like 2 weeks. They met, like, of course, you meet like 100 men, but because of the internal energetic presence work, the energy work they did with me, and the other things that we do in my life coaching program, or coaching, not necessarily a program, my life coaching, my one-on-one coaching, they were able to shift their energy. So even filtering through hundreds of men, right? Their husband rose to the top in 2 weeks. So if you're on a dating site for more than 2 weeks and nothing has bubbled up that seems to be headed that way, it's your energy. You got to raise your energetic presence. You got to raise your E factor. That's one thing, or two things. And then the other thing it may be is that you have some internal um blocks, right? I call it the gales. Gales being your gremlin, the assumptions, your interpretation, or some limiting beliefs that are keeping you from your husband, because you have the power to actually create what you want, ladies. That's the thing that I love about the work that I do. I teach my women, because we're creators, we're God's creations, right? We're the image of God. God was a creator, so are we, and we get to create through our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, right? And a lot of times what we think, what we feel, and what we believe is actually repelling from us what we want, right? So Terry Lynn, you're not meeting anyone. It's your energy. You were in category one, divorce. You are on a dating site and you're not meeting anyone. Has it been more than 2 weeks? Let's give it a month. If it's more than a month is a long time. I say 2 to 3 weeks. If you haven't met anyone on a site that is leading anywhere, you absolutely need to set up this call with me for one-on-one coaching, because then you have the power. This is 2024. We are not waiting for men to just choose us, to pick us. And the reason why is because men are going to be drawn the type of man that you want. And I know you want someone who is what you call at your level, who's intelligent, who's emotionally intelligent, who's kind, who's loving, probably somebody who loves and follow Christ, right? You want someone who you have to draw him in through your energy. He's going to be feeling your vibe, right? And not that you have to be, oh, this feminine, sexy, beautiful. It's not even about all of that, right? The type of man that your heart and your soul is desiring, he's going to notice your essence, which is what I call your energetic presence. So if it's more, yes, introductory site. So if it's more than 2 weeks that you've been meeting people and talking to people and nothing has happened, um, then yeah, definitely, definitely reach out to me so we can talk about that. Um, so let's see. Did I give you guys what I need you to do? Let me go back up here. All right. So if you no relationship, no guys trying to talk to you. Yeah. Okay. So you're stuck in the mud. Thank you. Thank you for waiting patiently for me. And thank you for talking to Terry Lynn, so I can do the on time thing. Um, so I think what's happening then too is, um, here's what you need to do. I'm sorry, I'm off. Here's what you need to do is, because you're so stuck in this quicksand and nothing is moving, right? You need a path forward. You need, like, hand holding. You need a step-by-step blueprint to get out of this stuckness. There's no way that no man should have been trying to talk to you, or you haven't been in a relationship, or nothing happening in more than a year. If you want a relationship, remember, this is all about women who want a relationship and they're ready now. Now, if you're like, oh, I may want one, I don't want one, maybe I do, maybe I don't, then it totally makes sense why you're still single, because you haven't made a decision. And to me, a decision is when you cut off every other path. Like, this is it, plan A. I want a relationship. I want a loving relationship. I want a man to do life with. There's no other choice, right? It's gone. That's where I got to. I'm like, I'm not meant to be single. I'm not meant to be out here meeting a new man every 6 months, every 3 months. That is draining for me because I'm somewhat of an introvert. So I can be an extrovert when I need to be, but always having to be out meeting men, especially at this age. Listen, I'm not trying to die alone. Like, never knowing love alone, right? And I know this is getting long, but rock with me, y'all. Rock with me, rock with me. So listen, if you are no relationship, nothing in a year or more, you are stuck in the mud, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get yourself out. Right? Because then you start getting, your heart starts getting discouraged. You start thinking it's not possible. You get really in your head ruminating on something must be wrong with me. I must not be pretty enough. Then you start coming up with all these sexy excuses. And then you start self-medicating with travel and shopping and working, overworking yourself. Right? And then it just becomes something that is not even in your realm to happen. It's not even in your realm to happen because of your own self-sabotaging behaviors and thoughts. So here's the thing, you need a step-by-step plan. That's just period, right? Because you probably don't have a big social life, right? You're not getting out of your routine, and you're out of practice. I mean, you need a step-by-step routine. What I would say to you is definitely, you can start with the divine desires, starting your heart, right? Revigorating your heart for what's possible and for what you want. I will also say that stop listening to any of your single friends or anybody who's talking against love and marriage and relationships, because you're already not in this place where you're not sure that it's possible. And if you allow yourself to keep hearing and listening to other people and other people problems and bad experiences, is going to make you have less faith in the possibility that it's for you. But the best solution to meet somebody is to really have a step-by-step plan, which is what I give my women. I take you through learning about your energy, increasing your Eden presence. We're removing your internal blocks, right? And we're giving you a path forward because you're stuck, right? And getting online, if you don't have the right energy, if you're, I hate to say right, because it's not about right or wrong, but it's really about being an expanded energy where you can create it yourself. You're just going to be filtering through a bunch of profiles. I had a new client reach out and I'm like, tell me what's happening. She's like, oh my God, I'm in 41 conversations. I don't even know how to narrow this down. I don't want to go back into hiding, right? She hadn't been in a relationship in about 3-4 years. She was like, and she realized she was hiding. She was like, I know that I'm hiding because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start over. She was like, I'm just lost. But my friends convinced me to get online. She was like, now all these men are reaching out to me. Some of them are talking kind of, crazy. She was like, I just can't do this by myself. And I'm like, okay, I got you. So getting online, that wouldn't be my recommendation for you if you're in level in this too, because it's just going to be overwhelming and it's going to build more self-doubt, because online is a beast. If without the right mindset and without the right energy, it is like trying to literally find a needle in a field of haystacks. So that is my honest recommendation. So I have the QR code up for one-on-one coaching, or you can DM me or put in the comments coaching, and I'll make sure I send you my booking link so that we can just talk about it, right? We can talk about where you're at, where you want to be, what you see the problem is. I'll show you what I see as the problem based on our conversation and my years of experience, and I'll create you a plan that I can coach you through, and you can sign up for one-on-one coaching so we can get you into a loving, healthy relationship, hopefully by the end of the year. All right, so let's move on. Again, the QR code is up. You can DM me the word coach, or you can put it in the chat and I'll make sure I get you that link. So let's move on to the third and final place. Just to remind those who are just joining, I'm ready for love. And what's the easiest way to make it happen? That's what we're talking about. And based on where you're at in your singleness. So here's the third and final one. My dating dabblers, right? My dating dabblers, these are the people who are men approach them, they're going out on dates, they even get into short-term relationships, meaning they probably last a year or less, but it doesn't lead to commitment. So everything that I said about the divorced people, the no relationship people, it applies also to you, especially when I was talking about being online. The thing that's different here is that you are attracting men, right? So that is a great thing. The problem is none of these relationship leads to commitment, right? So that's the crux of it. And so what ends up happening is that you also get kind of jaded, right? You kind of get jaded in that thinking that is it even possible, or is it even worth my time and energy? That's why I hear a lot of my women who've been in this on these dating streets are like, is it even worth my time and energy? And so really for you, I know this is getting long. Let me get to my list to make sure. Here's the thing with you. So if you're meeting men and you're getting into relationship, it's just not leading to commitments. There is some very, very targeted things that's potentially happening with you. And one is that there's four commitments, and I actually didn't pull those up, but there's four commitments on that you need to make to yourself before even getting into a relationship. And I do on these four commitments, and I wish I can bring them up real quick. But that these are specific commitments that you haven't made to yourself. It's not about him committing to you. These are commitments you haven't committed to yourself. And I'm gonna try to bring them up real quick. And the other thing also why I'm trying to bring this up is that it's actionable, or men that you want to be committed to, right? Because it's like it's not all about listen, it's not all about men choosing you. I don't believe in that. It is about you guys choosing each other. So you have a choice, right? We're not victims to men. We're not back in the 20s and in the 30s where we had to have a man to even have a living, right? Our ancestors, our great great grandmothers, they couldn't even work, so they needed a man. Right? It's like that's not why we're in a place of power of choice. I choose to have a man in my life because I choose to share my life with someone because I'm adding to him and he's adding to me, right? So I just want to be clear that these commitments that I'm speaking of are not commitments like, oh, I need a man to commit to me. No, that's not the energy, that level one energy that we're in. These are powerful commitments that you have to make to yourself before a man even come into the picture. And I'm so sorry, Lord, ladies, this is not even pulling up for me. Um, oh, maybe. Uh, give me 1 second. Shoot, it's still not coming up. Okay, maybe I'll later. But there's a four commitment workshop that I absolutely recommend that you guys talk to me about, right? Because that's the one thing. The other thing is, which I'm excited that you're bringing in men, and I'm excited that you're getting into relationships, even if it's not leading to relationships, because that just tells me that we just need to tweak your energy, your energetic presence, just a little bit. So you're there, but we need to take it up just a notch so that you can meet men that you want to commit to and who are committable to you. So in this place, in this journey, I'm not saying you're closest than all the other ones, but you already have the momentum. You already have the practice of being in men presence, of talking to them, or drawing them in. You already have that practice. So you just need a little tweaking to your energy and to get these four commitments down in your heart, make them to yourself, right? It's like buying a house. I have to commit on paper before I get the house, right? It's the same thing when it comes to these relationships. All right, ladies, this has gone longer than I wanted to because I want people to be able to watch the replay. But thank you for rocking with me. I hope this has been really good. If you've taken away any nuggets, anything you wrote down that you're going to use, please put it in the comments so other people who come along can also see what you've taken away from it. I would love to talk to you to see where you're at, where you want to be, and how coaching with me can bridge that gap to get you the love that you desire and deserve this year, right? No need to keep waiting. We just need a few tweaks. But yeah, thank you for rocking with me. Share your takeaways in the comment. For those who want that list of what a man can do for you, I will reach out to you so that I can get that to you. Love you, ladies. Thank you for rocking with me. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And like my dad always say, don't let anybody steal your joy. I hope to see you in my DMs. If you want to book a call to learn how one-on-one coaching can help you, just DM me the word coach or put it in the comments and I'll make sure I send you the booking link. All right, ladies. Peace. Love you.